Hi and welcome to another standing pose tutorial. And I know I have been saying this a lot, that a lot of poses are my favorites, but this one definitely is my favorite. And I'm talking about standing half moon. In Sanskrit, it's Ardha Chandrasana, and I love it because it feels wonderful. You're stretching everything away from yourself. You're in straight lines, in right angles, and you're balancing and stretching at the same time. So it's a little tricky at first, and for beginners, I totally recommend practicing against the wall because you can learn and memorize what it feels like to have all of your limbs on one plane. That's very important because if, for example, you're in standing half moon, you're standing on one leg, you're reaching one arm down, the other one is up, one leg is parallel to the floor. If this top leg that's floating tilts backwards just a little bit, you could be off balance and lose balance and fall. Wouldn't be a bad fall because you would fall on your feet, but still it's very easily practiced and at the wall, which we'll start with, and then I'll show you the details practicing freely in the room, and we'll start off by practicing on the wall right now. To practice standing half moon, sometimes it's easier, especially when you're starting to practice yoga, to use a block. This helps you, especially if the backsides of your legs are very tight, to avoid overdoing the stretch. So if you have a block, then use the block. If you don't have, use a stack of books or anything you can find. Think MacGyver if this is something that helps you. Be creative. So I'm using the block, I'm setting up myself against the wall. So find wall space or a closet without knobs and place the foot about 1 foot width away from the wall. And my front foot, this case it's my left foot, faces forward. And now I'm trying to reach the block and hold the block and have my left hand on top of the block. Now I'm lifting my right leg and I'm trying to use the wall. I'm trying to feel the wall with the heel, my left butt cheek. My aim is to bring my right buttocks towards the wall. Maybe it's going to happen, maybe not. Because I want to turn this hip. I want to open the hip, as in Warrior Two. Now I'm lifting also the right arm up and I'm trying to lean my whole body to memorize this feeling of being on one plane. Maybe you can look up if this causes a strain on your neck. Avoid doing that. Instead, look towards the room, or easiest, look down. Hold this for 5 breaths and switch to the other side. And on the other side, I'll just give you a few pointers, like the common mistakes. Most common mistake is that this foot, especially when practicing within a room, is going to want to turn in. So it's going to want to turn this way. So try to tell this foot to stay facing forward. Then sometimes cockiness tells you to avoid using the block, so you might hang out here and maybe do this. Don't feel any kind of shame of using props. Props are awesome. I love props. So try to use these props in the beginning, especially to feel, okay, where do I have to go? Where do I need to set my body? Where do I need to reach? In this case, reaching up and reaching back. Then we'll try this in the room, also using the block, and then I'll show you maybe a progression that I like to work on within the room, especially for those that are more advanced. Same thing, most of the time we arrive from Warrior Two in our standing half moon. But let's just set up standing half moon without a transition. So my front foot looks forward, faces forward. The block is a little bit on the outside of the foot. Now I'm reaching right leg up. I'm engaging this thigh, pulling kneecap up, opening this hip and turning my torso to the side. I can look towards the side, look down, or look up. This is a little more difficult, so don't bother looking up yet if you have trouble feeling the pose. And now what I talked about, if you're not on one plane and the top leg goes back, you lose balance. So now a progression that you could play with if you're an advanced practitioner, if you have done yoga and have done standing half moon for a while. When you're in standing half moon, try to start to float. So when I started to practice, they were like, yeah, be on your fingertips, like this. And then slowly, I started to lift my hands off the floor and to levitate here. So I'm trying to float. I'm extending, shoulders away from ears, engaging my glutes, my cores, gently firm in this area to hold myself up. And I'm just trying to balance like this and trying to breathe and maybe transition back into Warrior Two. Try these and have fun practicing.